Hi, welcome back to Save with Crypto. My name is Save with Crypto, and I was just looking at some charts and stuff, and I found some old scribblings of mine from a long time ago, back 2024 actually, and it was on this chart here. And I was trying to remember what I was doing back then. I mean, this is the Bitstamp chart, which is the one I used to use quite a lot if I wanted to see a lot of data. I probably should still do that actually, but yeah. Anyway. So obviously I'd drawn this double top here from like sort of 21, 2022, that sort of thing. I'd also drawn in this low there. I think that is the pandemic low there. And then I'd put this exclamation here that wasn't actually on the price. So I'm assuming that was from an indicator that I was using at the time. And I was trying to think which one I used to use back then. And I think it was the whole sweep by In Silico. So we'll have a look at that in a moment. I'd also marked on this LFG line here at 36,500, which I must admit would have been a pretty good place to go effing long, wouldn't it? So yeah, that's good. Anyway, let's have a look at the whole sweep by In Silico. So it's this indicator here. And I think what I was doing, because I was obviously looking at it on the monthly time frame, because that's where you would see all this kind of stuff. So I think I was looking at when the whole suite turned green here on about the 1st of December 2023. And we've had an absolutely amazing run up since then, from about 28k, obviously up to the all-time high at 125 or whatever it was. Now, we are starting to get a little bit of red there, so it looks like we're going to be definitely into a bit of bear market now, but I think we knew that already, didn't we? But looking back here, when it turned red here, by the time it crossed over and done a little bit of red, it pretty much got to this nearly to the bottom sort of stage here, so maybe that's the sort of thing we could be expecting now. We could look back further in the past. Obviously I'll have to zoom in a bit more, but if we look at this example here in 2018, you can see that by the time it turned red, it was pretty much at the bottom, and we did get a little bit of red here, but that was the pandemic crash there. Now obviously this indicator told us a little bit too late about this, which made me think, how does the whole suite actually work? So what I'm going to do is take a look at the code, because there's not a lot, to be honest. There's only 52 lines. I'm just going to get that code, pop it into Grok and ask it how it works. So let's do that. Okay, that showed me quite a lot of information there. So it says the core idea is the whole moving average aims to be both very responsive, low lag, and smooth at the same time, something traditional moving averages, SMA, EMA, WMA struggle with. The whole suite extends this by offering 3 variations of the whole concept and displaying them in a visual band or line format to make the trend direction easy to read. So it says the whole moving average hugs price action closely during trends but turns quickly when direction changes, with less whipsaw noise than many other MAs. Okay, so it says here how the indicator visualizes on the chart. Instead of plotting just one line, the script does something clever. It calculates the current hull value, called M hull. It also takes the hull value from 2 bars ago and calls it S hull. Then it plots M hull as the main line, S hull as the secondary line. This lag of 2 bars creates a clear visual channel or band that widens and narrows with momentum and makes trend direction obvious at a glance. The colour can optionally follow the trend or stay neutral. So if we move down to a smaller time frame like the weekly, what do we see there? Well, clearly this is very much a downtrend, but will we start to see some green down here? Probably unlikely right at the moment. This band is really quite thick. Ideally we'd need to see it thin out like this. Now that only seems to happen once it's actually crossed through the actual price, and it is starting to meet the price right now, isn't it? Well, I suppose that now we have our own indicator, Quadzilla, we could also use this and look back what happened at a similar time using Quadzilla on the monthly chart. So let's give that a go. And I suppose I should put on the whole suite as well, just to compare. So in actual fact, we got the whole suite giving that indication of a reversal round about here. So in December 2023. So using the whole suite, you would have chosen to gone long, maybe round about this value here, like 27.4k. Now what we saw in Quadzilla is we saw the momentum from back in 2021. We saw the momentum coming down here and going down, 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 and eventually we started to see the convergence band here go green, which is always a good sign. And then we saw it flip over, and consequently we got this green signal here, which is called a mid-range crossover, which is a confirmation of a change in trend. So at that point you would have been pretty sure, especially on the monthly, that the trend had changed from being negative to positive. So that, for more of a swing trade, would have been quite a tasty place to go long, and that would have been at 19.9k. 10 months before, the whole suite gave a similar signal. So what are we seeing now? Well, the momentum is still to the downside. However, we can see here that the red border of the convergence band, which is actually made from the fastest moving stochastic, is starting to turn positive. So things could start looking positive reasonably soon, maybe in the summer. Now I do see a lot of people playing around with fractals, so if you can't beat them, join them. Let's have a go at that. We can get the bars pattern. Look at that kind of thing there. And then think, does that fit there? Maybe. If it does though, that would imply some sideways movement until the end of this year, and then we rally back up towards the end of next year and into 2028. And then obviously beyond that, could we see something similar continuing like that up towards 177k in 2030? Quite possible, isn't it? Anyway, these fractal things never normally play out, but they are quite good fun to look at. Anyway, just before I go, I just wanted to show you this on one of my favourite time frames for, like, you know, very, very small, fast movements, which is the 12-minute. And this is really interesting because on Friday, we had the price coming down here. It actually drew this bearish retracement level here, and it quickly went down and completed the step 2 of it. What it didn't do, didn't complete the step 3 where it sort of comes back to that. And lo and behold, this morning, the price came down and completed that step 3 absolutely perfectly. So for now, I'll expect some difficulty around about 67.4k. And in fact, that level did just come up to here. So I think we're just in for a bit of chop now, probably until the market's open properly on Tuesday. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. While you're down there, please make sure you are subscribed and you've got the notifications turned on. And above all, tell your friends. Please note that this content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not financial advice. Any information or opinions provided are not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decisions. A full legal disclaimer is in the description of each video and live stream.